The wind howled outside, sounding like the blower on a particularly low-budget inflatable, which, frankly, is the soundtrack to my life most nights.
You city folk think Halloween is about candy and costumes. For me, it's about liability waivers, late-night suburban pickups, and trying to fold a 12-foot PVC unicorn while wearing industrial-strength mittens.
It was just past midnight, and I was making the final run for Bigfoot Bounce. Had to retrieve the Haunted Castle inflatable from 47 Willow Creek. It was pouring rain, the kind that smells like old tires and regret. I pulled the truck up, and the street was dead quiet, which is odd for Halloween.
Usually there's always one porch light left on, or a drunk parent trying to herd a flock of hyperactive kids. Not this place.
The castle was still inflated. It glowed faintly, sickly green, lit only by the sodium vapor street lamp. The sound of the blower, normally a comforting thrum, seemed unnaturally loud, like a frantic heartbeat. I grabbed the tarp and walked up to it. I reached for the air vent zipper, the one that lets the castle die a wheezing death. That's when I heard it.
It wasn't a growl, a howl, or a snap of a twig. It was laughter.
Tiny, dry, whispery laughter, like someone crumpling up a handful of dead leaves right next to my ear. It was coming from inside the inflatable. My first thought was, dang it, a couple of late teens snuck back in there. But the laughter wasn't mischievous or loud, it was brittle and constant. It didn't sound like joy, it sounded like rustling, like something thin and light scraping across the slick vinyl floor. I knelt down and squinted through the little mesh window on the side. The inside was pitch black, darker than the night outside. But then, I saw a shift of movement. Not a kid bouncing, but a low, fluid scutter.
I didn't see a face. I saw a reflection. It was white and impossibly wide, stretching across the entirety of the slick floor. It had no features. And then, the sound stopped. The brittle laughter vanished.
A voice, high and thin, like stretched silk, whispered right against the mesh screen, no more than an inch from my face.
You're late for the party, Fuzzy.
That was it. That was all I needed. I dropped the fan unit, and it hit the ground with a clang.
The air, under immense pressure, rushed out of the castle in a single, guttural, dying gasp.
The whole thing collapsed like a punctured lung. Whatever was inside dissolved into the sagging, wet vinyl. I didn't check the reflection again.
I didn't fold it. I just hooked the flattened mast to the winch, dragged it onto the truck bed, and drove away.
I left the blower fan. I've delivered hundreds of bounce houses, but I didn't look in the rearview mirror once.
That thing in the inflatable, that shadow on the floor, it didn't just know I was coming for the castle. It knew me. And it was definitely not a kid.
You forgot your blower, Fuzzy.